What's up, good people? This is section 1.9, handling dimension symbols. And before we get started, I want to just quickly remind you, as always, questions go here. You're going to have questions. It's a tough section. They're all tough sections, really. Learning math is tough. But if you're not thinking at all, if you're just writing stuff down, then you don't got any questions. So think, engage, and ask questions, and we can write them down right there just to keep track. Also, I'm going to do an audio check just to make sure you're listening, because I don't want people just watching and copying. I want you listening also to my beautiful voice. Here we go, 1.9, handling dimension symbols. So what is the speed in meters per second? Perform the calculations and simplify if possible. So first of all, what is the speed in meters per second? If you're going 186,000 meters in 10 seconds, you can turn that into a fraction. 106,000 meters in 10 seconds. That'll give you meters per second if you divide like this. Canceling out that, you get 18,600 meters per second. That's the answer. Number 2, 18 meters in 16 seconds. That's 18 over 16 meters per second. Simplify that down, you get 0.5 meters per second as a speed, as an average speed. So that's how you find speed. Speed is going to be equal to distance divided by time. And you notice that the units also turn into fractions as well. Meters per second as a fraction. Alright, perform these calculations and simplify. So check this out. Just like this were a fraction here, you can cancel out feet. Cancel out feet. So that means you have 36 times 1 over 3. 36 times 1 over 3. What are we left with? Yards. Simplify that down, you get 12 yards. That's how you handle dimensional symbols. That's how you change them from feet to yards. 36 feet, 12 yards. Notice we're multiplying by a form of the fraction 1. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So really multiplying 36 feet times 1 as a fraction won't change the actual length. The only thing we're changing is the units that it's expressed in. So here we've got 5 pounds, and you're going to multiply it by a form of the fraction 1. 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. But what happens is the pounds cancel. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. So you get 5 times 16, which is 80 ounces. Let's see. Now, 7 feet for 8 kilograms. Let's see. Well, we just have these two fractions here. And so what's going to happen is the kilograms are going to cancel. The feet are going to cancel. And then what you're going to be, and even the 4, and this becomes a 2, that cancels. So we're just left with 1 times 7 is 7, and 5 times 2 is 10. There are no units on this answer, it just cancels out to be 7/10. Number 9, 5 inches times 9 pounds per hour divided by 4 hours. So really the tricky thing here is that you've got a fraction inside a bigger fraction. How do you deal with that? It's kind of like if we had 3 times 4/5 all divided by 2. Well, that would really be the same thing as 3 times 4/5 times 1/2. So what we're going to do is, so you notice this 2 got brought out to be like that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to rewrite this as 5 inches times 9 pounds per hour and times 1 over 4 hours. When you multiply across, you get 45, and divided by 4, you get 11.25. 5 times 9 divided by 4 is 11.25. Now, none of these units cancel out, so really the units on the answer are going to be inch pounds per how many hours? 2 of them, hours squared. It's an hour times an hour is an hour squared. This is a bizarre unit, but sometimes we see those kinds of units in science. Let's see. Number 10. Before I multiply across, I'm going to do a little bit of canceling. The 10 and the 5 cancel. So that's 2 and 1. The 14 and the 7 cancel. 2 and 1 also. So really we have the 2 times 2 is 4 over 1. The number is just going to be 4. But what are the units? When you multiply across, none of the units cancel out. Pounds times pounds is going to be pounds squared over meters squared. Those are the units. Sometimes in science you see units that have squared, like area is going to be measured in meters squared, or volume is going to be measured in meters or centimeters, sometimes cubed. Point is, don't be afraid of units that have exponents, because they behave very much like numbers do with exponents. Alright, perform the following changes of unit. Use multiplying by 1. So we're going to change 34 yards into inches. 34 yards, we're going to multiply it by something, and in the end, the answer is going to be in inches. Well, what we have to do is we have to change that into a fraction. We want to cancel out the yards. So in order to arrange it that the yards get canceled out, we're going to put 1 yards in the bottom. Why is it in the bottom? Because we want it to cancel out the yards that are in the top. Let's put feet here, because I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And then when we go to multiply, these are going to cancel and be left with feet. But what I want is inches, actually. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Feet, if I want to cancel out feet that are in the top, I need to put feet in the bottom. And I know that I can convert feet into inches. I know that there is 1 foot and 12 inches, and if I multiply these across, the feet are going to cancel. The only units left are inches, which is great. That's what I want. So let's actually multiply it out. See, this is 34 times 3 times 12 is 1,224 inches. Alright, so number 12, let's change miles into feet. We're going to start out with 11 miles, and then we want to somehow change that into feet. Well, in order to cancel out miles, I need a miles on the top and a miles on the bottom. I can go directly from miles to feet, because I know that there's 5,280, got to have that memorized, 5,280 feet for every 1 mile. So when I multiply, these are going to cancel, and then I get 11 times 5,280, which is 58,080 feet. Number 13, I want you to do. So pause the video and just do it right now. "720 inches changed to yards." So 720 inches, and I eventually want yards in my answer. This is going to be a little tricky because we have inches here, and I don't know how many inches are in a yard, but I know that I can change inches and feet. I know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So when I multiply, these inches are going to cancel out. But what I want is yards. So I know that there are feet here. Of course, I want to cancel out the feet. Feet are in the numerator, and feet have to therefore be in the denominator to cancel. So I can convert feet and yards. I know that in 1 yard there are 3 feet. When I multiply all the way across, the feet will cancel, and I'm left with only yards. Great. So 720 times 1 times 1 divided by 12 divided by 3 gives you 20 yards. And that's the answer. "36,960 meters changed to kilometers." Okay, so 36,960 meters change to kilometers. I want kilometers, this to be in kilometers. So make it a fraction. In order to cancel out meters in the top, I put meters in the bottom and they'll cancel out. I think I can go straight from meters to kilometers because I know how many meters are in 1 kilometer. That's 1,000. So when I multiply, these m's will cancel, and I get 36,960 divided by 1,000, which is 36.960. 3,600 seconds changed to an hour. 360,000 seconds. Change it to hours. So that means I need to get rid of the seconds, so I'll put it in the bottom. I don't know how many seconds are in an hour, but I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that when I multiply across, these seconds are going to cancel. One on the top, one on the bottom, they cancel. Minutes. I want to cancel out minutes because my goal is to find hours. I know how many minutes are in 1 hour. That's in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So when I multiply across, the minutes will cancel, and I'll be left with just hours and my units. Let's see, 360,000. 60 times 60 is 3,600. So that means when I divide the two, I get 100 hours. By the way, did you know that for your audio check, do you know I play a lot of music in high school? So the instruments that I played were violin, I played the trombone, I played the drums, and I even sang. So if you played any of those instruments, I want you to let me know. Even if you haven't, just let me know what kind of music instruments you play or you want to play. And again, I played the violin, the trombone. I picked up the drums in college, and then I also sang. Here we go. 120 miles per hour. Miles per hour. Change it to feet per second. This is going to look similar, but there's an added bonus that we have to change both miles and hours. If I want to cancel out the miles, I'll put miles on the top and miles on the bottom. They'll cancel out. And I can change that to feet. I know that there are, in 1 mile, there are 5,280 feet every mile. So when I multiply across, then that'll give me an answer in feet per hour. However, I need to change the hour. So I see an hour on the bottom. I want to get rid of it, so I put an hour on the top, and then I've got minutes. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. When I multiply these across, the hours will cancel, and I've got feet per minute. But I don't want feet per minute, I want feet per second. So I'm going to put minutes on the top and seconds on the bottom, because I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. The minutes will cancel out. So I'm going to have 120. Oh, so the units that are left are feet and seconds, which is great. That's what I want. I want the answer in feet per second. When I multiply across, I get 120 times 5,280 all over 60 times 60. And if you do that on a calculator, you get 176 feet per second. Let's see. 18. 36 centimeters squared changed to meters squared. Okay, so let me do a little quick side demonstration. You know that there are, I'm going to draw a little square. And let's say this square is 1 yard wide. 1 yard. A square of side length 1 yard. At the same time, it's also 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide, because 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. So I'm going to divide this up by feet. So if this is 1 square, if the whole thing is 1 square yard, then that means that there are 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square feet. I know that there's such a thing as 1 yard for every 3 feet, but it's also true that in 1 square yard there are going to be 9 square feet. I've just drawn them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The relationship that you can... So what I encourage my students to do in order to keep track of exponents in units is go like this. If you want to know... We know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And if you want to know square yards and square feet, then all you got to do is square it. And that'll give you the 1 yard squared. 1 square yard is equal to 9 feet squared. You could do the same thing in cubit. We know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. If you cube it, then you get 1 cubic yard of volume is equal to 27 cubic feet of volume. The picture would look something like this. Square, cube. 1 cubic yard can be cut up into 27 cubic feet. And they look like that. There's 27 cubic feet right there. Here's one of them. 1 cubic feet. The whole thing is 27 cubic feet. So that's a really quick reason why one way that you can negotiate centimeters squared. I've got 3,600 centimeters squared. I want to change that to meters squared. So I need centimeters on the bottom. Well, I don't know exactly how many centimeters squared are in 1 meter squared, but what I can do is I can just square the linear version. In a straight line, I know that there's 100 centimeters for every 1 meter. So I'll just square it. And when I simplify, I get 3,600 centimeters squared over 1 times 1 meter squared over 100 squared is 10,000. 10,000 centimeters squared. The centimeters squared cancel out, and then you have 3,600 over 10,000. If you simplify that, you get 0.36, and the units left are meters squared, which is what we have. Okay, next, 50 kilograms per liter. We want our answer to be in grams per cubic centimeter. cc, doctors will call them cc's. Give me 30 cc's of medicine or something like that. That's cubic centimeters. Okay, it's a volume measurement. 50 kilograms per liter. And make that the fraction. Times, let's see, how many kilograms, let's see, I want to cancel out the kilograms. So in order to cancel them out, I'll take the one that I have on the top and cancel it with one on the bottom. Kilograms converts to grams quite nicely. There are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So when I multiply these across, the kilograms will cancel. I'll take the hint that they've given us here. Come on, take a hint. We got liters on top, liters on the bottom. 1,000 cubic centimeters will equal 1 liter, which cancels out, and we're just left with grams per centimeter cubed. Great. So we have 50 times 1,000 divided by 1,000, which is 50. 50 grams per centimeter cubed. You could even say that the thousands cancel out. So 50 kilograms per liter is equal to 50 grams per centimeter cubed. Let's do one with money. If you get paid $72 a day, how many cents do you get in an hour? So let's start off with $72 in 1 day. Oh, I want to make sure I keep in focus that the answer is going to be in cents per hour. That's the answer I'm looking for. 70. Let's see. I want to cancel out dollars, so I'll put dollar here, and instead I want to replace it with cents. That will go. So I know I have 100 cents in $1, and then so when I multiply across, these will cancel, and I'll be left with cents per day. I want cents per hour, so I need to cancel out the day. I put it in the top to cancel out the one on the bottom. Day, hour. In 1 day, I know there's 24 hours. So let's cancel out the days. And now we're going to be left with cents per hour, which is what I need. Cents per hour. 72 times 100. Let's see. Actually, 24 goes into 72 evenly 3 times. That's going to be 300 cents per hour. All right. So that's it. I want you to start on one eye. Just do the first problem. Lay out, look at the homework list and write your homework list on the composition book. Do the first problem and bring it to class and we'll talk about it. I'll see you then.